Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Arrahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami, dan kasihlah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah, kita bersyukur pada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Pada hari ini kita dapat meneruskan kelas kita untuk kelas yang terakhir bagi semester ini, insya-Allah. Jadi semoga semua yang ada depan saya ni sihat semua. Okey. Dan hari ini kita akan tengok satu soalan lagi. Soalan Consolidated Statement of Cash Flow daripada soalan semester Julai 2021. Kemudian kalau ada masa lagi kita akan tengok soalan 1B lah, soalan teori. Okey. Kita tengok dulu soalan cash flow. Okey, jadi soalan ni saya dah bagi. The question is about Pandan. Pandan and its subsidiaries. Okay. Pandan Berhad has several investment in subsidiary and associate entities. The consolidated statement of financial position of the group as at 31st December 2019 and 2018 are shown as follows. Okay. The first column is closing balance. The second column is the opening balance. Okay, we start with property, plant, equipment. We can see that there is an increase in property, plant, equipment. There is also an increase in goodwill. There is also an increase in patent from 0 to 47.28. Investment in associate increase a bit. Not much increase. Investment property increase a lot by nearly 70,000. Inventories increased by about 16 million. Oh, all in million. Okay, jadi ini tadi naik dekat menghampiri nearly 70 million. And this one is inventories increased by 20 million. 16 million. By 16 million, 16.5 million. Trade receivable increase a bit. Okay, 1.25 million. Bank increased by 6 million. And short-term investment increased by 10 million. And then we have ordinary share capital also increased from 480,000 to 480 million to 704 million. General reserve maintained. Retained profit increased by about 50 million. Non-controlling interest also increased about 107 million. So possibly there is an acquisition of new subsidiary. Debentures increased from 0 to 25 million. Trade payable increased also by about 7 million. Bank overdraft increased by 5 million. Tax payable increased by about 1 million. And interest payable increased by 1 million. Okay, so we can see a lot of increase. So the possible reason, okay, the possible reason is acquisition of new subsidiary and also acquisition of new associate. But we are not sure until we read all the additional information. Okay, additional information number 1. On 1st March 2019, Pandan acquired 60% of ordinary shares in Kenanga Berhad by issuing ordinary shares worth 130 million. Does this involve any outflow of cash for purchasing shares in Kenanga? The answer is no. The company has not paid any cash. The company paid by using shares, 130 million. So there is no outflow of cash for purchasing the shares in Kenanga. And then number two, okay, before that, okay, we have to see the detail, the fair value of net asset of Kenanga Berhad on the date of acquisition. Property, plant equipment 200 million, inventories 1.6 million, trade receivable 1.75 million, bank 2.9 million, trade payable 0.2 million, and tax payable is 0.05 million. During the year, Pandan also acquired 40% interest in a new associate, Malim Berhad, for cash consideration of 25 million. Jadi masa beli Kenanga, dia bayar 130 juta tapi tak keluar duit. Masa dia beli Malim, dia keluar duit 25 juta. 25 million. Admin expense include depreciation charge of 12.5 million. Okay, jadi bila kita nak buat kita punya cash flow nanti, kita kena tengok depreciation sebanyak 12.5 juta ni. And then the non-controlling interest in Kenanga Berhad is measured at fair value and it was valued at 90 million. So this is for the purpose of calculating the goodwill. Next, short-term investment qualify as cash equivalent. So tadi yang 32, 32 ke tadi? Bukan, kosong naik menjadi 10 juta. Itu qualified as cash equivalent. Number 6, the consolidated statement of profit or loss of Pandan Berhad for the year ended 31st December 2019 is as follows. Okay, comprised of turnover 565 million, cost of sales 226 million, gross profit 339 million, dividend from other investment 7.54 million, admin expenses 162.99 million, sales and distribution costs 94.5 million, finance cost 1.5 million, share of profit 1.25 million, profit before tax 88.8 million, taxation 2.8 million, and profit for the year is 86 million. Profit after tax attributable to shareholders of parent 64 million and non-controlling interest 22 million. Required 2 items: calculate goodwill or bargain purchase on the acquisition of Kenanga Berhad and prepare consolidated statement of cash flow of Pandan Berhad for the year ended 31st December 2019 using indirect method. Okay, jadi sebenarnya kita boleh nak calculate ataupun kita nak buat direct method ni, tetapi the question require us to prepare the indirect method. So we have to follow the question. Okay, sepatutnya kalau ada turnover semua tu, ada cost of sale, bolehlah kita nak buat direct method kan. Tetapi soalan nak minta kita buat indirect method. So kita ikut saja. First to calculate goodwill. Okay, first to calculate goodwill. So can you calculate the goodwill? Can you calculate the goodwill for this particular Kenanga? Okay, kita bagilah berapa minit dulu, 5 minit dulu sekejap untuk calculate goodwill untuk Kenanga ni. Boleh? Kita tengok berapa goodwill Kenanga. Lepas kita discuss jawapan seterusnya. Okay, so berdasarkan kepada maklumat yang beri, berapakah goodwill untuk Kenanga? Okay, kita akan discuss mula pada pukul 9.22. Okey, kita tengok ada jawapan ya. Berapa goodwill yang kita dapat? Okey, ini dia goodwill. Calculation of goodwill. So we start with consideration transferred for ordinary share capital 130 million, and then add non-controlling interest at fair value 90 million. Total fair value of investment is 220 million, and then we compare with fair value of net asset. Remember, fair value of net asset can be equity or net asset itself. Ya, jadi maknanya kita boleh ambil, kalau kita diberi maklumat tentang equity, kita akan ambil equity sebagai net asset. Kalau tak diberi maklumat tentang equity, kita ambil net asset yang sebenar. So net asset given, property plant equipment 200 million, inventories 1.6 million, trade receivable 1.75 million, bank 2.9 million, trade payable 0.2 million, and tax payable 0.05 million. That lead to the total fair value of net asset is 206 million. Okay, fair value of investment 220 million minus 206 million fair value of net asset. So we get a goodwill of 14 million. Okay, and this 14 million is important because we are going to use this figure. That's why we need to calculate the goodwill. Next, we prepare the consolidated statement of cash flow under question B. We start with cash flow from operating activities first. Okay, so for the cash flow from operating activities, we are going to start with profit before tax of the group. That is 88.8 million, and we are going to adjust for depreciation. Mentioned in additional information that depreciation amount included in the expenses is 1.25 million. Sorry, 12.5 million. So we need to add back the depreciation 12.5 million. Yeah, profit before tax, add back the depreciation 12.5 million, and minus back the share of profit from associate. Yeah, the profit from associate we minus, and then we add back the finance cost, and we deduct back the dividend from other investment 7.54 million. Okay, so from doing that, by doing that, we get an operating profit before changes in working capital of 94.01 million. Okay, so after that, we are going to check the working capital that comprise of inventory, trade receivable, and trade payable. We are going to see whether there is an increase or decrease in inventory, receivable, and trade payable. So we are going to check the opening balance and closing balance of these accounts: inventory, trade receivable, and trade payable. So from there, we are going to know whether there is an increase or decrease. If there is an increase in current asset, increase mean outflow. Yeah. If there is a decrease in current asset, it means inflow. If there is an increase in current liabilities, it is inflow. If there is a decrease in current liability, it is outflow. Okay, so let's look at the three accounts: inventory, trade receivable, and trade payable. Kita tengok account dia satu-satu, kita tengok balance dia. Okay, we start with inventory. So inventory, balance brought down of inventory is 10 million, and balance carried down of inventory is 26.6 million. If we just compare the brought down and carried down, we can see the movement is 16.5 million. But the answer is not accurate because there are other movement also. Okay, so what is the movement? The movement is involving an increase in inventory because of acquisition of subsidiary. Because subsidiary Kenanga is having 1.6 million inventory. So we have to add that first. Yeah, we add that first, 10 million plus 1.6 million. 10 million plus 1.6 million, and then we compare with the carried down value. So 26.5 million minus 11.6 million. So the balancing figure is 14.9 million. 14.9 million here in debit side of inventory. So it shows this is an increase. This is an increase in inventory. So increase in inventory means cash outflow. Cash outflow. And we can see from here also, debit inventory, credit cash. Because we have cash here, debit inventory, credit cash. So it means it is cash outflow. When there is an increase in current asset, it is outflow. Okay, so inventories outflow by 14.9 million. What about trade receivable? Is it inflow or outflow? We can see the balance brought down from the question is 21. The balance carried down is 22.25. We just compare this. Okay, the movement is 1.25 million. But the answer is not accurate because we can see that the subsidiary Kenanga is also bringing into the group, bringing into the group trade receivable amounting to 1.75 million. So 21 million plus 1.75 million equal to 22.75. But the carried down is 22.25 only. So the balancing figure is credit side. Credit side, a cash of 0.5 million. Debit, cash, credit, trade receivable. So what does debit cash mean? Debit cash means inflow. Okay. So untuk trade receivable kita ada decrease. Dan decrease mean inflow. Inflow in trade receivable. So trade receivable ada inflow sebanyak 0.5. Jadi inventories ada outflow 14.9. Okay. And number 3, we have to analyze the trade payable. Trade payable balance brought down is 2.9 million and carried down is 9.7 million. We cannot just compare the opening balance and closing balance 2.9 and 9.7 because we have another item that is the new subsidiary Kenanga is also bringing to the group. It's also bringing to the group an amount of 0.2 million trade payable. So balance brought down 2.9 million plus 0.2 equal to 3.1 million compared to 9.7 million, and the difference is 6.6 million. 6.6 million increase in trade payables. So increase in trade payable means inflow. Okay. What is the evidence of inflow? We can see from here, debit cash, credit, trade payable. So out of the 3 items in the working capital, inventory is outflow. Inventory outflow. Kemudian account receivable inflow dan trade payable inflow. Okay, class, are you following? Kita tengok kat sini Changes in working capital, increase in inventory outflow, decrease in trade receivable inflow, and increase in trade payable also inflow. Are you following so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this one just now is operating profit before working capital, and then we adjust for working capital, outflow, inflow, inflow. So at the end, we arrive at cash generated from operations of 86.21 million. And that is not all, because we have 2 more items to be included in operating cash flow. Okay, the first one is interest paid. Interest paid is 0.5 million. Okay, how do we know that interest paid is 0.5 million? Just now, we add back the amount of 1.5 million. Finance cost is 1.5 million. But this one, interest paid is only 0.5 million. How do we know? Okay, how do we know that it is only 0.5 million? Where to check? Just now we add back 1.5 million, but here is only 0.5 million. Okay, Is there any opening balance of interest payable? Is there any closing balance of interest payable in the statement of financial position? Is there any? Kita tengok, ada tak interest payable? Yes. Opening balance of interest payable is 3 million and closing balance is 4 million. Jadi macam mana kita nak tunjukkan? Kita kena buka lah account interest payable untuk kita dapatkan interest paid, ya. Okey, kita buka interest payable. Kalau belum ada kita buat, kalau dah ada kita tengok saja. Okey, ada tak? Yes, interest payable kat situ. So interest payable opening balance 3 million, closing balance 4 million, and the amount of interest from SOPL is 1.5 million. Okay, 3 million plus 1.5 million equal to 4.5 million, and 4.5 million now we compare with carried down of 4 million. So there is a difference of 0.5 million. Debit interest payable. What does debit interest payable means? Okay, it means outflow. Okay, outflow. Sebab debit interest payable credit cash. Jadi an outflow of interest maknanya interest paid amounting to 0.5, and another one is tax payable. Tax payable, the opening balance is 1.5 million and the closing balance is 2.55 million. Okay, and then by acquisition of subsidiary, the subsidiary is bringing to the group 0.05 million tax payable. Okay, and the amount of tax expenses from the statement of profit or loss is 2.8 million. So we add these three, 1.5 plus 0.05 plus 2.8 equal to 4.35, and the balance here is only 2.55. So what is the difference between 4.35 and 2.55? The difference is 1.75. So from here, we know that the tax paid is 1.75 million. It is not 1.5 million, it is not 2.8 million, but it is 1.75 million. So we got these two items, interest payable, interest paid 0.5 million, cash paid for tax payable, 1.75 million. So kita masukkan dalam kita punya cash flow from operating activities. Okay, jadi cash flow from operating activities kita 86.21 cash generated from operations minus tax paid 1.75 million and interest paid 0.5 million. Net cash inflow from operating activities is 83.96 million. Okay, 83.96 million. Next. Okay, we go to cash flow from investing activity first. Cash flow from investing activities. Basically, investing activities, we talk about non-current asset, including property, plant, equipment, purchase of property, plant, equipment, disposal of property, plant, equipment, purchase of subsidiary, disposal of subsidiary, purchase of associate, disposal of associate. Okay, dividend from investment, dividend from associate, investment in associate. So all these are items of cash flow from investing activities. Okay, so let us look at the activities one by one. The first one, we look at the acquisition of property, plant, and equipment. There is no mention in the question. There is no mention that the company is purchasing property, plant, equipment. But in fact, the company is purchasing 70.1 million. The company is spending 70.1 million for acquisition of property, plant, and equipment. How do we know? We have to check the property, plant, and equipment account. Okay, we check the opening balance, we check the closing balance, and then we analyze whatever activities involved in property, plant, and equipment. Okay, so from the question, we are given the amount of balance brought down of 714.9 million and balance carried down of 972.5 million. Okay, and then when we acquire Kenanga, Kenanga brings property, plant, equipment of 200 million. At the same time, the question also mentioned that there is a depreciation of 12.5 million. 12.5 million. So 972.5 plus 12.5 equal to 985. And this amount will be compared with balance brought down plus acquisition in subsidiary. So there is a balancing figure of 70.1 million in the debit side of property, plant and equipment. So what is this? This is actually a cash outflow. A cash outflow because we debit the property, plant and equipment and we credit the cash 70.1 million. Okay, jadi rupanya ada pembelian property, plant and equipment sebanyak 70.1 million. So 70.1 million we bring to activities in the operating, in the investing activities. The first activity kat sini 70.1 million. Secondly, we have acquisition of subsidiary. Okay, do you remember that the company paid 130 million in the form of ordinary share? The company paid 130 million in the form of ordinary share. So there is no movement of cash for purchasing the ordinary share of Kenanga. However, Kenanga brings 2.9 million cash to the group. Therefore, when we offset, zero outflow and 2.9 inflow. So the answer is inflow of 2.9. Jadi macam pelik lah kan? Acquisition of subsidiary tetapi positive 2.9 because we do not incur any cash. We do not pay any cash. We pay by using ordinary share. Jadi bila kita offset kosong, offset dengan 2.9 inflow, so kita dapatlah 2.9 inflow. Jadi boleh jadi acquisition of subsidiary tetapi positif. Sepatutnya negatif. Tetapi kita tak keluar duit langsung. Sebaliknya apa yang berlaku? Ada duit masuk ke dalam grup sebanyak 2.9 juta. Okay, kelas? Can you follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And then number 3, payment of acquisition for acquisition of patent. So yang ni straightforward because initially the patent is 0. Suddenly at the end of the year the patent is 47.28. Even there is no mention in the additional information, we can assume that this additional amount of 47.28 million is actually a purchase of patent by cash. Purchase of patent by cash 47.28 million. Okay. And then acquisition of investment property, also not mentioned in the question, but we can assume that the acquisition of investment property is in the form of cash. Okay, we just compare the opening balance and closing balance, and the difference is 67.55 million. Then we have dividend from other investment. Dividend from other investment amounting to 7.54 million. There is no other figures. Sama ada payable ke receivable ke, tak ada semua. Jadi kita ada satu angka saja untuk dividend from other investment. So that figure become amount received from dividend from other investment. So 7.54 ada kat situ. And then dividend received from associate. This one we have to calculate. We have to analyze the investment in associate account because we know that investment in associate is having balance brought down, balance carried down, and then new investment also. So balance brought down is 26.5 million. Balance carried down is 26.67 million. At the same time, there is a share of profit from associate amounting to 1.25 million and also acquisition of new associate 25 million. So total debit side is 52.75 million. However, the carried down value is only 26.67 million. So there is a difference of 26.08 million. And the difference is regarded as cash dividend. Cash dividend from associate to the company, to the group. Okay. Jadi kita ada cash dividend di dalam investing activities sebanyak 26.08 ya, inflow. Next, investment in associate. Investment in associate memanglah kita tahu amount dia 25 juta. 25 juta. So kita campur, tolak. Okey, dapatlah kita ya, net cash outflow from investing activities amounting to 173.41. Okey, 173.41. Next, kita pergi kepada cash flow from financing activities. Okay, cash flow from financing activities. So we start with activities happening in the ordinary share, and then followed by NCI, and then followed by debentures. So can you see the movement in ordinary share? Can you see the movement in ordinary share? Let's go through the account. Yeah, ordinary share account. Opening balance, how much? Closing balance, how much? Okay, here. The opening balance, the balance brought down of ordinary share is 480. And then when the company acquire Kenanga, the company also issue 130 million ordinary share. Okay. So itulah saja maklumat yang kita ada. 480 campur 130. Okay. Kemudian kita ada balance carried down 704. Jadi 480 campur 130 belum lagi dapat 704. So macam mana kita nak dapatkan 704? Kita compare lah the difference between 480 plus 130 sama dengan 610. 610 compare dengan 704. Jadi perbezaan dia adalah 94. Jadi 94 ni debit cash, credit ordinary share capital. So issue of shares for cash amounting to 94 million. Okay. And then next, we have also non-controlling interest. Kita nak tengok berapa banyak non-controlling interest ini dapat dividen daripada subsidiary. So balance brought down of non-controlling interest is 50. When the company acquire the subsidiary, the non-controlling interest increased by 90. And then during the year, the SOPL attributable to non-controlling interest is 22. So altogether, 50 plus 90 plus 22 equal to 162. However, the balance carried down is 157 only. So what happened to the difference? There is a difference of 5 million. So 5 million is actually cash dividend. Cash dividend paid by the subsidiary to non-controlling interest. Debit, non-controlling interest, credit, cash. Okay. Okay, jadi kita dah dapat dua dah, ya. Cash dividend for non-controlling interest dan ordinary share issue for cash. Dah dua item. Kemudian item yang ketiga adalah dividend paid by the parent. Dividend paid by the parent, kita tengok balance brought down of retained profit 149.5. And then SOPL for the year 64. SOPL for the year is 64. And then the balance carried down is 200. So, 149 plus 64 tak cukup lagi. Okay, 149.5 dengan 64 kita dapat 213.5. But the balance carried down is only 200. Kan? Mana pergi lagi 13.5? Jadi sebenarnya 13.5 itu adalah merupakan dividend paid. Dividend paid, debit, retained profit, credit, cash. Dividend paid amounting to 13.5 million. So itu item yang ketiga. Dan item yang last sekali adalah debenture. Ada tak debenture kat situ? Debenture ni kita cuma tengok perubahan saja. Opening balance dengan closing balance, apakah bezanya? Okay. So debenture. Issuance of debenture. Asalnya debenture kosong jadi 25. Okay. So proceeds from issue of shares 94. Payment of dividend by holding 13.5, dividend paid to NCI 5, and issuance of 6% debentures 25. So net cash inflow from financing activities is 100.5. Next step is to add together the balance of operating activities, investing activities and financing activities, we add together. So bila kita campur yang tiga tadi, kita dapat amount dia cuma 11. Net increase in cash and cash equivalent is 11 million. Okay, 11 million, and we have to add this one with cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the year sebanyak 27, and cash equivalent at the end of the year is 38. So 27 and 38 ni kita boleh check balik dalam soalan untuk pastikan jawapan tu betul. Jadi kita tengok analisa dekat bawah ni. Okay, macam mana kita dapat 27 untuk 2018 dan 38 untuk 2019. Okay. The cash and cash equivalent for 2018 comprise of bank 32 million and bank overdraft 5 million. 32 minus 5 equal to 27. For 2019, bank is 38 million, short-term investment is 10 million and bank overdraft is 10 million. So the value is 38 million. Jadi kalau kita tengok balik dekat kita punya statement of financial position, kita akan jumpa angka yang sama iaitu 27 million dan 38 million untuk cash and cash equivalent for 2018 and 2019. Okay, last. So telah terjawablah kita punya statement of cash flow sebanyak 20 markah campur dengan calculation of goodwill tadi 5 markah. Okay, ada apa-apa soalan? Tak ada. Jadi saya kata tadi kalau masa cukup kita nak tengok sikit lah dekat kita punya soalan 1B ni. Kita tengok setakat mana yang boleh. Soalan 1B. Kita tengok soalan dia dulu. Okay, soalan 1B dia kata the following situations are independent of each other. Explain whether investor has or have joint control or significant influence over the investee company in the respective situation below. Okay, jadi situation 1, Orchid Berhad acquired 2 million ordinary share of Lily Berhad. The number of issued ordinary share of Lily 6 million shares. Orchid Berhad has the ability to appoint 2 directors out of 5 directors in Lily. So what is the relationship between Orchid and Lily? Jadi apakah dia punya relationship? Okay, relationship dia adalah di antara investor dengan siapa? Investor dengan dia punya associate. Sebab apa? Sebab dia ada significant influence. Apakah bukti significant influence? Buktinya adalah the appointment of 2 out of 6 members of the board of directors. Okay. Kemudian number 2, Harry Berhad, Omega Berhad, Torin Berhad decided to form a company known as Kul Berhad. Masing-masing ada 25, 35 dan 40% saham di dalam Kul Berhad. The contractual agreement among the investors is that at least 90% of voting right were required to execute decision about relevant activities. So adakah mereka ni control as an individual ataupun control together yang kita panggil joint control? Jawapannya Harry, Omega and Torin jointly control Kul Berhad. Jointly control Kul Berhad. Maknanya any decision must be made by the 3 companies. Sebab requirement dia adalah 90%. Sedangkan kalau 25 campur 35 baru 60. 35 campur 40 baru 75. So jauh daripada 90%. Untuk dapatkan 90%, kena 3-3 lah. 25 plus 35 plus 40, 100. Jadi maknanya 3-3 pihak tu jointly control. Jointly control the the new company. Then the issued share capital of Eagle Berhad is 50 million ordinary shares issued at 1 ringgit each. Most acquired 20 million ordinary share in Eagle Berhad. The remaining shares held by numerous shareholders and the majority of them does not attend the AGM and do not cast their votes to elect the members of the board of directors. Moose has nominated 4 new directors out of 6 members of the board of directors. With reference to MFRS, discuss the relationship between Eagle and Moose. Jadi, okay, apa yang kita sebut kat sini, maknanya the percentage of voting rights does not determine the controlling power here. Ya, sebab apa? Sebab dia cuma acquire sebanyak 40% saja. Tapi dia mempunyai segala kuasa yang dia nak. Kan? Dia mempunyai segala kuasa yang dia nak. Apakah kuasa tu? Even though the company is only having 40% interest, the company can nominate 4 of 6 members in the board of directors. That is a signal, that is a sign that Moose is having control over Eagle. Jadi, with reference to MFRS, discuss the relationship between Eagle and Moose. Relationship dia adalah between parent and subsidiary. Because Moose can control Eagle by appointing ataupun by nominating 4 out of 6 members in the board of directors. And by doing that, okay, the board of directors representing Moose is actually, okay, the one who rule the company. Maknanya dia punya kuasa untuk day to day operation dan juga kuasa untuk kuasa untuk decide the financing and operating policy of Eagle. Identify who should be responsible for preparing the consolidated financial statement. Of course, the consolidated financial statement will be prepared by Moose Berhad. Because Moose is the one who control Eagle. Yang lain-lain tu dalam mesyuarat pun tak datang kan, dia kata kan. Dia kata majority of them does not attend the AGM. Tak datang pemesyuarat. Okay. Kemudian soalan C. Ryan Berhad and Sulaiman Berhad establish a joint arrangement. Tiara Berhad a separate vehicle and each owns 50% of equity shares. The legal form of the separate vehicle state that both parties, Ryan and Sulaiman, have right to the asset and obligation for the liabilities of Tiara Berhad. Jadi, bila dikata ada right and obligation over asset and liabilities ni menunjukkan bahawa joint operation ni adalah merupakan joint operation ni bukan merupakan joint control, tetapi dia merupakan joint operation. Sebab apa joint operation? Sebab the asset and liabilities are okay, they have the right over the asset and obligation. Kalau joint control, dia ada right over the net asset. Right over the net asset. Tapi bila dia kata right over the asset and obligation over the liabilities, itu menunjukkan dia adalah joint operation. Okay. Kemudian, the contractual term of the joint arrangement state that Ryan has the right to all building and obligation to all third party debt. Itu tugas Ryan. Kemudian aset-aset yang lain dan liability yang lain dia akan bagi sama rata di antara Ryan and Sulaiman. Okey, jadi dia tunjukkanlah Tiara ni dia mempunyai bank 60, building 300, machinery 40, other debts 300, employee benefit 40, equity 60. Okey, kita tengok tadi yang menjadi hak Sulaiman. Kejap. Ryan. Ryan ni mempunyai hak terhadap all building. So building semua Ryan punya. Kemudian obligation to third party semua Ryan punya. Obligation to third party semua Ryan punya. Kemudian yang lain-lain tu bagi dua lah, 50-50. Okay. So soalan dia ialah identify the type of joint arrangement dan prepare statement of financial position for Ryan. Okay. So sekali lalu saya akan tunjukkan, masa tinggal sikit sangat lagi. Awak ada kelas ke pukul 10 ni? Okay, jadi yang pertama tadi saya dah sebutkan jawapan dia. Orchid Berhad has significant influence over Lily. So Lily is an associate. Okay. Because it is able to appoint 2 directors out of 5 directors. Harry, Omega and Torin have joint control. Ya, saya pun dah sebut juga tadi jawapan tu. Kemudian 1B, B1. Okay. So apa yang berlaku? According to MFRS 10, the presence of control determine whether the parent subsidiary relationship exists. Ownership of more than 50% is not the only indicator of existence of control. An investee may be deemed as a subsidiary even if the percentage is less than 50%. In the case of investment in Eagle, Moose is deemed to have control because it able to appoint majority of members of the board of directors. Okay. Since Moose is the parent of Eagle, therefore Moose should be the one who responsible to prepare the consolidated financial statement. Kemudian C, this is a joint operation. Accordingly, Ryan and Sulaiman accounts their right for asset and the obligation for liabilities relating to Tiara according to MFRS 11. So, macam mana kita nak accountkan dalam buku Ryan? Jadi building, Ryan ambil semua sekali. Ada debt pun semua sekali. Yang lain-lain separuh. Machinery separuh. Ada 40 tadi, kita ambil 20. Bank ada 60, kita ambil 30. Equity ada 60, ambil 30. Kan? Ada debt, ambil semua sekali. Employee benefit ada 40, ambil 20. So beginilah bentuknya. Okay. Statement of financial position of Ryan. Jadi maknanya Tiara tadi, walaupun Tiara tadi adalah Tiara Berhad, tetapi aset dikuasai oleh Ryan dan Sulaiman mengikut persetujuan di dalam perjanjian. Okay kelas. Jadi saya rasa setakat itu sajalah kelas kita. So saya mengharapkan agar semua orang faham apa yang dipelajari daripada awal semester sampailah kepada kelas kita yang terakhir pada hari ini. Okey. Jadi ada satu perkara yang masih lagi tertunggak yang belum dihantar, iaitu group project number 2. Group project number 2 tu saya nak pesan sangat-sangat supaya awak tengok betul-betul currency tu. Currency tu biasanya subsidiary dia punya currency lebih kecil daripada parent. Kan? Biasanya currency of the subsidiary lebih kecil daripada parent. Tapi kali ini nampaknya macam currency of the subsidiary tu lebih besar daripada parent. Okay. Jadi kalau selalunya kita bagi, kita tengoklah kali ini kita nak bagi ke nak kali. Sebab apa? Sebab ringgit lebih kecil daripada subsidiary punya currency. Biasanya ringgit lebih besar daripada subsidiary punya currency. Kena tengok yang tu. Jadi saya tak boleh nak bagi jawapan, tetapi saya boleh bagi pandangan lah. Pandangan yang begitu, awak tengok balik sama ada jawapan awak tu awak bagi ke kali tadi betul ataupun tak betul. Okey, jadi saya rasa cukuplah kelas kita pada hari ini yang merupakan kelas yang terakhir. Saya dengan ini memohon maaf kepada awak semua sekiranya ada ketidaksempurnaan ataupun kesalahan dan kesilapan yang berlaku semasa semester berjalan lah. Dan saya pun maafkan awak juga. Okey, kesalahan-kesalahan yang awak lakukan. Dan saya mengharapkan dan mendoakan supaya semua pelajar saya berjaya dengan cemerlang lah dalam apa-apa subjek yang diambil. Saya rasa itu saja. Ada apa-apa awak nak cakap apa? Ada nak cakap apa-apa? Tak ada So kalau tak ada, macam biasalah kita sudahi kelas kita pada hari ini dengan surah Wal-As. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Okey,
sir.
welcome.
Thank you, sir. Waalaikumsalam.